going on? Luke here. Welcome back to the Aston Villa career mode on EAFC24. Now we are absolutely killing it in terms of Aston Villa standards. We are in the fight for the top four. We're also in the fight for an FA Cup. And that's what we're going to be covering in this episode. Episode 7 is going to be covering the FA Cup and the Premier League. We are in amongst the top four race. So that is something that I want to achieve. I want to get the top four. Is it achievable? I'm not so sure. We don't exactly have a lot of squad depth. We got a lot of decent players, but we don't have a lot of star players to come on. And we don't have the quality that is quite up there with the top four, but we are competing, which is quite nice. But at the same time, an FA Cup run is very, very achievable, and that's what we're going to be covering in this episode. So we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to jump into the very first game of the episode, which is the Premier League game. And obviously, like I said, we're competing for the top four. And I am doing the highlights in some of these games. Against Nottingham Forest is what you're seeing on the screen right now. You can see they actually have a decent chance here. And obviously, there's some good and some bad in terms of the highlights. Obviously, you get some highlights, you get some absolute gimmies, which are just, they should be a goal. Then you get some chances like that, where it just ends up falling for Nottingham Forest. Divock Origi, Liverpool legend, goes and scores for them. But you can see here, some of the highlights, they're so whack. Like, you start off with so much space, and you're like, that would never open up in a real situation yet. For the highlights, it opens up, but once again, Moukoko turns. We missed a chance earlier, but he buries this one. Actually, don't know if it was him who missed earlier, but we bury that one. Moukoko evens things up, 79th minute. Look, not the ideal result, to be honest with you. A late equaliser, 80th minute, but at the same time, I will take a draw considering the circumstances. And, we've got cup games. I can't win everything. Speaking of cup games, we move straight into the FA Cup. That's what I alluded to earlier. And we take on Wolves, who have a decent side. Not sure they have the little Portuguese sort of quartet or whatever they used to have back in the day. But they do have a decent little side. They got Bueno there. Spoiler, January coming up. Just want to point that out. But it is Tell going through a guy we record on loan. Absolutely buried that one. We destroyed that one. The number 9 we recorded. He was playing in Germany. I think we signed him and then we sent him on loan straight away. Or maybe they'd signed him. I literally can't remember because it doesn't show that I signed him. But I'm fairly certain that I signed him. But yeah, it goes 1-0. Watkins makes it 2-0 after 50 minutes. We're absolutely smoking Wolves. This is a game that we did play. This was a game I was certain I had to win this one. I was like, FA Cup. Honestly, our job security is not great, so I need to have a good FA Cup run. So I've already showed one game in the Premier League, but you can see on the screen right now, you can see where we are in the league. We're in 3rd spot. You've got Aston, Newcastle there. We're at 51 points. I'm not going to say that we're going to compete to win the league. Like, they've got a decent little lead on us. It's Man City. Like, they're absolute weapons in real life and on the game. But at the same time, I think we can compete for top 4, and it's going to be, a nice little start to this game in terms of our top 4 push up against Luton Town. You do want to be getting a win against Luton Town. No, Jared HD's got a fantastic career mode going. Actually, I think it's finished now. But at the same time, you need to be winning against Luton Town. They're a team that's in the relegation battle, and we pick up a victory. Very, very fortunate considering the circumstances. Highlights once again. Could have cost us, but it did work out okay for us. Now we move on to another English Premier League game. We're in the top 4, like you've already seen, and we're taking on Spurs. We're on a win streak too. I remember this from doing all the press conferences and talking about win streaks. So we definitely have the hot hand at the moment, and we're going to keep going with it. Moukoko has been absolutely devastating since bringing him into the side. Watkins gets the ball there. How it wasn't taken off him, I'm not sure. Even the square up wasn't exactly who I was going to, but it is Ramsey who opens the scoring 60 minutes into the game. So you're thinking we're home, honestly. We're home and hose. You think we're pretty good, especially as we make it 2-0 there. The number 22, Michele, came from PSG. The right back returned into a centre back. He extends the lead, so 2-0. We're sweet. Nah, Chewy loses the ball. Udogi, I'm not sure exact pronunciation, but he wins the ball there. Crosses over to Richarlison, and he heads it home. And I was thinking, okay, that's all right. Like, look, it's one goal, but they haven't really done too much this game. Obviously, you haven't seen too many highlights. But they go and head this one. Great save by the keeper Martinez. But you can see here, us on the counter. This is like kind of, it just shows kind of the ebbs and flows of these games where Watkins nearly wins the ball there. Did we go and score and just wrap things up late into the game? No, we don't. But it just shows you how close it could have been. Instead, it's Richarlison. It's absolutely burning Torres. Cannons off the crossbar. We get super lucky, but it falls back to Richarlison. Pumps it off to Udogi. People are going to be in the comments. What are you doing? But they have the power shot. There is no chance of saving that. There's no way you can save that. I don't know how to do that myself. I'm such a noob at this game. I used to rate myself as a decent EAFC FIFA player, but I don't know how to do that. And Richarlison brings him back. The guy up renowned. I swear the guy didn't really score too much, but instead he scores 2, gets them home, gets a draw against us. So a little bit disappointing, not exactly a loss, but in terms of our battle for the Premier League title, I know I've already said in this episode that I'm not really going for the title, but in terms of the top 4, not exactly been a great episode. we haven't really lost, but at the same time, we're not winning too, but we're looking to change our fortunes. It goes to the FA Cup, and it is going to penalties. We only really had the one chance in terms of the actual normal time, and it just went straight to penalties there. We buried the first one with Bodu. We are fielding a little bit of a rotated squad, and that's something that I do quite a bit in terms of the FA Cup, especially against a team like Brentford, where it's no offense, Brentford, should be able to beat you with some of my backup guys. And you've seen so far Bodu, we've had Bailey take penalties. Now we've got Sanson, who I brought back from loan, the Frenchman, 29 years old. I've got a lot of rotation players, but it seems to be doing the goods here. We're up 3-1 at this point. It's going to be 3-2 there. So basically, we just need to get all our penalties. We've got Tell here. He's already scored 1 goal in this episode. We've absolutely timed that to perfection. But I tried to dip the keeper. I tried to do that. I tried to go the Pirlo. It didn't work. Then they go straight down the middle. So all even going into the last penalties. Kamara, the Frenchman, he's actually progressing really, really well. He absolutely buries his one team, celebrating big time. And then, look, they need to score with Shade with the big afro, but no, big goal for him, a big save. And we go ahead, pick up victory, move into the next round of the FA Cup. Also, you can see our 75 rated goalkeeper. He is the hero in this game, and we progress on. Maybe we're going to win the FA Cup. So after the heroics of the FA Cup, we move back to the Premier League. We're taking on Wolves, a team that we've already beat, funnily enough, in the FA Cup. Feeling a little bit of a stronger side for both of us. But you can see here, just a very interesting moment here. 2 people falling over each other, and that is just EAFC, FIFA for years and years and years in general. Shows you how dodgy the game can be. But Michele here, absolutely awful, to be honest with you. I was trying to dribble it out, I tried to sprint, then all of a sudden the sprint kind of it pushed the ball out way too far. But it just shows you how little lapses in judgment can really have a big impact on the game. I know they didn't score, but it just shows you that Wolves are piling on the pressure, and you're expecting a goal to come. Martinez is really keeping us in the game at this point. He's been absolutely fantastic. Just in general, this season, he's been very good for us. But it's Chewy coming across, Hung-Won Chan, and then we have Kuna going through there. And eventually the pressure, it pays off for Wolves. And a side that, I think at the start of the season, they actually did beat us. Maybe they did, maybe we beat them, I can't remember. I know we have played them early in the season. There was some distinct result, but it does fall back to Ramsey here. And just shows you Wolves have been sort of all over us, but at the same time, we do have the ability to turn it on when we need to. And Ramsey plays through to Mullen. Here we go, this should be a goal, but it's a great save by the keeper there. Fantastic save. I was talking about our keeper, Martinez, keeping us in the game. Wolves keeper definitely earning his keep here. And this is a chance where, hey, I got a little bit too ahead of myself with the slide tackles. This whole episode, you probably noticed, I've been making a fair few slide tackles. I've never really done it in FIFA, and all of a sudden I started doing it in this little span of playing these games, and it's paid dividends for Wolves as we give away a penalty, they score a goal, they go 2-0 up, and you're thinking pretty comfortable. Watkins absolutely blows the chance there. He's in the contention for a golden boot, but at the same time, a chance like that, you got to finish those ones, and that's where I look at Watkins, and look right here. He's going to go ahead and have another chance that is saved. That's just, I put that down to a good save. Not much more he could have done there. But we have some chances where he should be burying them. Even Makoko there should have finished that one. But our strikers, they're okay, but we create a lot of chances. I think we get away with the fact that we create a lot of chances, and a lot of the goals they score are ones that they should be scoring. Speaking of one they should be scoring, Chewy is through and goal, 101, buries it, the former Real Madrid man. He's in the mid-80s to high 80s. There's no way he's going to be missing that one. The second he's through and goal, I'm like, yeah, he's going to be scoring this one. And not too much long later, we played through for Ramsey. It actually was Diaby first and then Ramsey. Forced in Makoko. You think he's going to bury it, mate. You think he's going to bury it. But no. And at this point, it looks like I don't want to say game over, but, you know, we're piling on the pressure, but nothing seeming to pay off. I wasn't trying to actually play it to him. Instead, it goes to him. I think it was Mokoko himself, but a great save by the keeper. And you think in 91st minute, there is no way we can score this one. Malin steps up. Malin buries it. We end up scoring. Actually, I don't even think it was Malin. I think he did the corner. But whoever scored it, oh my God. What a finish. That's a textbook EAFC finish. I will mention that. We'll see here in a second who it actually was. It actually was Malin. I'm used to him taking the corners, but the winger goes and heads it home. We get a draw in the 90th minute, and I will say in the Premier League, the results have been absolutely terrible, but overall, I mean, it's been decent. FA Cup run, Premier League, we haven't lost, so that's a good thing. Anyways, that's episode 7, done and dusted. Obviously, I would have preferred some more wins, but I mean, we didn't lose, so that is a positive. And we were fielding some rotated squads. Obviously, don't show you too much in terms of the squad selection, but we were having to rotate quite a bit with the FA Cup there. But speaking of the FA Cup, obviously, we keep progressing. We're on track to win the FA Cup, baby. Let's go. Now, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully, you did enjoy that one. Make sure you go ahead, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Check out my other EAFC Aston Villa career mode videos. If you're a rugby league fan, go and check them out as well. I'm going to be uploading this to both my main channel and obviously like the FIFA EAFC channel. So depending on which one you're watching, go and check it out. You're seeing on the screen the EAFC channel. If you've subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you're a member currently, you're seeing them on the screen right now. Thank you for becoming a member, or for staying a member, I should say. Everybody who's pretty much on there at the moment have sort of been a member for quite some time. So shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for staying loyal. Thank you so much. And also the super chatters as well. There's not a great deal, but I haven't been live streaming. But thanks to the super chatters, very much appreciated. Also, I want to mention my social media. Seeing it on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT. Go ahead, give me a follow, give me an ad. Mainly Instagram, Snapchat probably. Go and give me a follow on that. And yeah, that's where I'm going to wrap things up here. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more content. I'm going to be trying to be a little bit more consistent uploading. I've got a lot filmed, to be honest with you, so going to be trying to upload a little bit more. It's just a matter of, you know, putting it together. But hopefully you did enjoy this one. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the next one. See yous.